Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this third key entitled The Quest for Unity, Regaining Your Original States. So, first of all, it implies regaining, recovering initial states that it was actually what you were or what you had at first. As we saw in the first video with duality, we come from the big picture, the great whole, okay, and we have been obliged to detach, to extract, okay, from the wall to make the experience of life. To exist means to separate from this unity, this union. Of course, you will have understand as well how I can play on the word unity, okay? The unity within yourself is really important. Secondly, there is a slight difference in between unity with, let's say, a capital letter and the second one. Okay, so the second one is the absolute, the global unity with the universe. And the first one is individual unity. So we will split up the individual unity and collective unity. First of all, I would like to define what is concretely unity. Unity basically is when you feel fulfilled, okay? Literally, you are complete, okay? You are in a completude, concretely. You don't make the separation of the self. What does it mean? Let's take a simple and basic example down to earth. You watch a beautiful landscape, you admire it, and you do, wow. Okay, literally at this moment, the object, the observer, and the observation is just making one. This is the oneness. This is unity. Another example, you are on the beach or in the sea and you swim and you feel so good, and there is you are floating, you have the light, you have the sun and so on, and you feel in harmony. This is unity. You make love, okay, before the orgasm, and oh, it's good, the pleasure is coming, it's coming. You don't analyze it, and you're not saying, hey, darling, let's take a selfie, or just you analyze and you try to explain, analyze, oh yeah, now I'm stepping. No, you just are in this unity, and when it's arrive, literally, you don't really have the notion of space-time, right? It's like 1 second is like few seconds, is like 1 minute. It's kind of eternal. Concretely, when you reach this point of singularity, this unity, the notion of space-time disappears. It becomes eternal. It becomes eternal. I like to add an H with the notion and the concept of eternity, which is linked to ether, fifth element that we will define later. So, concretely, unity is the notion of oneness. Why is so important to have the difference in between unity, individual unity, and collective unity? Because actually, everything, every spiritual let's say, journey or awakening process and so on, is systematically, as I already said, it's systematically inner gazing. It is an inner path, okay? And it is concretely, let's say, inner work, and then it will be towards the world. So actually, it's at the same time, but the first thing is really important is the introspection, okay? Analyzing what you are. We will define that. We will spend time with the notion of destruction of the ego, okay? Ego is the dark side of your personality. Persona, in Greek, it means, in Latin, sorry, it means the mask, okay? I put a mask because it comes from the theater. It was silent theater, and at this period there was no dialogue. So how to pretend I'm happy? Smiley, okay, and crying, a mask of crying, and so on. So, and we kept that. The personality is, for example, your characters, okay? So the character and the characters, because very often we will see for personality we are different with our kids, or with our parents, or with our friends, relatives, colleagues, employees, and so on and so forth, or with our partner eventually. Okay, so this is personality. That is not the true self. This is a slight difference. Once we are peaceful with the character we are as an actor of the gigantic piece of theater that we call life, we are peaceful and we are starting to, it becomes like a comedy because it starts to be fun. Why? Because concretely the personality is equivalent to the costumes. This is your wardrobe. Okay, I have these shirts. I had different ones for other videos and so on. This doesn't make myself changing. Okay, we can compare my body when you're naked is equivalent to your true self and your higher self, and which is really linked, okay, is your unconsciousness, okay, is linked to your true self, your soul. Your soul is eternal. Your soul is, let's say, doesn't change. Okay, it means that I can be like this. If I need to see my banker, maybe I will wear a tie. Okay, it doesn't change the body. It doesn't change myself. All right, and this is true as well for your incarnation. Your soul embodies, in quote mark, different characters. If you ask a shaman or whoever, a specialist, you can see your different incarnation. Maybe you have been Shakespeare, you have been Napoleon, you have been, I don't know, Churchill and so on. And you have been these people. And your soul is encompassing all this. Okay, but you are not anymore. So what's the difference in between, I mean, Shakespeare and yourself now, and me and Shakespeare? If I have a thesis, a PhD of Shakespeare literature, for example, and even if it's supposed to be your soul, actually the previous incarnation who wrote the books, maybe you are not so close to that. Well, anyway, just an aside, but just to tell you what is concretely and why it's so important to find back, because this unity, you can find it back, okay, in the different layers. We are like onions, and the true self is when you take it out, the different layers of the onions, and this is the core. What you are is the core. All right, so the true self is this. It is what we call literally, and many wisdom talk about the same thing, the true I am. The true I am is not Aurélien Milo, Issa, whoever, is the true essence, the divine part of myself, which is eternal. You know, in the currently with the new age movements, we hear a lot the notion of we are all godness, we are all divinity, and so on. Yeah, it's partially true and thereby partially wrong. In a sense, we have the potential to reactivate, and this is the unity. The unity is this, is to activate the divine part, but maybe a majority of humanity, unfortunately, will never find it back, or will never regain, reactivate back. Okay, so it is dormant, it is a potential, which is, we have to make a process. And this process of finding back, recovering our original states, that's why I insist on the title, is a bit tough. And it's because it's a pleasure, it's a quest, it's a pleasure, because happiness occurs on the road, not only at the destination, meaning thereby that we can take a certain pleasure, happiness in a process of awakening, once again, which is endless. This is not a diploma, a middle that we are showing off and we put on Facebook and we take selfie with the reward. Not at all, because um, the wisdom, I mean, the wise man always knows that he can improve. Always, it's endless. So, this quest of unity is first by cleaning up and to just understand what are the different phases of your personality, accept them, improve them, and clean up the trauma and so on. We will see that part. And then, step by step, you will give more room to your true self, to your unconscious part, which is a springboard towards your soul and the, let's say, the essence, your divine essence. Okay, and this is the unity. Once you reach that, okay, you will feel harmony all the time. You are luminous. You are, let's say, illuminated, and all the little things in your life becomes luminous. This is the part, and then you step by step. That's why it's really at the same time. Okay, so you do this first work, inner work, and then it will have an impact, a resonance towards the word within you. That's to say, that's why I use the universe, the unity, because the inner process will have an impact on the outer world. Concretely, if I make it short, this is all aspiration of unity is that you are peaceful, okay? And I'm gonna take an analogy. It's like a puzzle game. We love the challenges most of the time. Addict things. If I offer you a puzzle game and it's only 4 pieces, you're gonna laugh and you're gonna say, "Do you think I'm dummy? I'm not 2 years old." So we like when it's quite complex. That's why humanity is so complex. But the fact to understand, so you're on a single piece of the puzzle. You're coming from the big picture of the puzzle. You have been extracted for that, for doing the experience of life, duality as we saw. But then you are these fragments. And the different pieces of the puzzle, if you understand them, if you respect them, understanding that they are playing their roles, they are doing their experience, you are more peaceful towards this organization. And you understand that the way of they are shaped allows to match perfectly with something else. You can criticize someone. Oh, he's like this, she's like this, and so on. And then they are matching perfectly well. Okay? They are, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to necessarily to give bad examples, but you will understand what I am. And if you see further and playing on the sounds, once you put together the different pieces, okay, you get the big picture and you can admire the masterpiece. And thereby, it brings you the inner peace. Masterpiece, inner peace, masterpiece. You understand? Peace, P-E-A-C-E, and also the peace, peaceful. You understand the difference? Actually, this is the same thing. And we can find it in hermetism, in alchemy, and so on. Actually, the quest of the philosopher Stone, okay, concretely, it is cleaning up. Actually, what is alchemy, concretely? It is the resonance, the reciprocal effect in between your mind, your state of mind, the vibration of your brain towards the matter. Okay, it's a bit like magic. And to tell me, that Newton, the father of the modern science, is the best and the most famous alchemist. So it's kind of magic, but it's also part of our, let's say, science in a certain extent. Anyway, just an aside, just to tell the mind, you purifying your mind, having an impact on the matter, and the matter affects you as well. So it's absolutely not a quest of goals. This is the 60th level. Concretely, in a materialistic society, this is a materialistic approach of spirituality. We say in alchemy, if you are looking for getting some goal, you will never succeed. And if you are able to do or capable to do or to make, you will never need any more. What does it mean? It means that the goal is not the gold. the goal is just to find back the unity, basically, and to purify ourselves, like crystal clear, and you clean up, and that's it. So why? Because then you can have millions and billions of dollars. Look at the stars. Most of them, they are the very neurotic, and they have everything, but they don't have any dreams anymore. So, but it doesn't brings you the illumination, awakening, the fact to be, to see, to perceive life, like wowing everything. Because once you find this unity, everything, you understand that everything is unified and you are part of it. And this is really fascinating because your life change radically. It becomes magic because you're not separate and you don't need thousands of contacts on social media and so on. No, you are naturally connected to something higher, the cloud or whatever, Akasha, the world of ideas, whatever the name, the collective consciousness, um, this whatever the name actually, collective unconsciousness, sorry, or the collective unthinking also. But concretely, you're part of something higher that we will define later. Well, just as a practice, I invite you to try to think, to take some moments within a day, within few days, and just to realize, to admire the human breakthrough, the humans, let's say, discoveries, allowing you to live in a better way now. That to say, for example, it can be materialistic, whatever, electricity, a car, whatever, but things we are part of your routine, but you never question anymore. And just to see, because the goal is more than this, is to visualize the dependence we have towards the world, and we are already linked necessarily and united to something that we cannot express concretely. But actually, this is important to visualize that the degree of dependence of the system, the world, people in general, and think about the fact to be on a remote islands, and try to think about, okay, you start from scratch, you don't have any single tool, you don't have even a knife. How do you proceed and what you can do? Imagine about that. And then I invite you also to think about what do you bring concretely on this planet for people in general. It can be really tiny, it can be, I don't know, art and so on, can be entertainment, fun to people, it can be really, but just try to see the balance and to visualize the degree of dependence that we have, which is not bad. It's just a question of interconnection. We are the world is within you. Okay, and this is universe. This is something that we will see and discover later. Well, I really invite you to think about that and to try to tap into this notion of unity. But actually, there is many ways, like meditation, medium meditation means center, to get back to the center. Okay, and concretely is the absence of thinking, which is hard, but concretely is when you connect to the unified fields. And actually, this is a little bit a default of Western mind and Western world and education. We want to understand, to think, and probably too much sometimes. And the West, the Eastern cultures in general, is more, instead of only thinking, analyzing, and so on, is more feeling. It's like linked to intuition, to the connection to something higher that we will develop with time. All right. I really invite you to do this exercise and to see these different elements we saw during this video. Once again, I invite you to watch it several times, to take notes, eventually to do to synthesize with you, or to rephrase with your own words, to structure, to see if you understood. Try to feedback to someone, a colleague, a friend, and so on. And also try to share as well this video. Like this, you can see the perception of people, and because together we are stronger. This is really important. Once again, this one is just a key, because there is different ways, because all the roads lead to Rome and to home. Thank you so much, and wish you a pleasant day, and see you soon. Bye bye.